What up? Back again with this little weekly thing we finna start doing. Don't tune in to Niesha K, a local truck driver. She's driving the box truck this week, but let's tune in and see what it do.
When I am making turns, I'm like overturning because I'm trying to make sure that I'm clearing it, even though I'm clearing it.
I've done box truck, but I never had to fill my own DEF for a while, but then I learned about it.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It is currently 31 degrees outside and I am freezing. I have a couple of clips from the last couple of weeks that I'm going to show you guys real quick. Probably the wildest situation ever that I've experienced, and I've experienced a lot. But how do I put this? I just backed into a service bay because I made it to Ohio, and the place that I was coming to was this TA because a truck broke down. This truck is currently in the shop getting worked on, but in the meantime, it has merchandise, produce inside of its refrigerated trailer, and I'm assuming that's what broke down. So we came here, me and the guy who's going to be manually unloading one trailer and loading the other trailer. We came here so that we can move the produce from that broken down trailer into ours, which is good, right? It's not broken down. It's already cold and stuff. So like I just said, I had to back into this bay so that he could move the produce. And so I'm literally butt to butt kissed against this trailer that's broken down in here. And I'm only 3 inches away, give or take, from the trailer, just so that he was able to squeeze in and squeeze out. But other than that, you know, he really needs as little space as possible in between the trailers so that he doesn't have to climb in and out. So that's what's going on right now. I've never done this before. It was about a 3.5 hour ride, and he said it doesn't take him that long. So he's going to go ahead and do that, and it'll probably take him about 15 minutes at the max. And Caesar salad for you. Thank you. Okay, so just to update you guys, I am practically right at the shipper, the place that I'm supposed to be at to get this load unloaded. And when I got over here, I noticed that the bridge that I have to pass under was pretty low, and so I went ahead and stopped, and I have my hazard lights on right now. I'm pretty sure this is the bridge I'm supposed to go under, but considering there's no sign that says the height, and just it looks really low, I decided to stop.
That's dangerous.
And so I looked on Google Maps and everything, and this is the only way to get in through this entrance. I also tried to do a street view. There's no sign on the other side from the street view that shows the height of this bridge. But funny enough, like I said, I stopped right before I'm supposed to turn to where this bridge is, when I realized that the guy ended up there's some construction on this bridge. Okay,
yeah, we don't need to see you on the next worst drivers.
People are over top it, doing whatever they're doing to it, and in the moment where I was originally going to turn, it wasn't necessarily anything keeping me from going underneath. But now that I stopped, someone came over with a stop sign and was pretty much telling me I needed to stop because there were things falling. I'll show you guys. So like I said, I don't know what it is. It looks like nails, big nails, but it's been like 15 minutes and I've just been sitting here. I did see another truck from the inside attempting to come out when the person told him to stop. So I'm almost 100% positive, but I am going to ask one of these people again just to be sure that it's okay for me to go under. It's just really low. I'm used to going under bridges that are fairly low looking, but I normally know what the height is, and for some reason this extremely low bridge doesn't have a height number anywhere, so it looks like he's about to tell me to come on.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah, it turns out it was just tall enough for me to get underneath it without there being any issues. So many random things happened at work last week. Outside of that, the objective for today is I'm gonna end up with a grocery load and I'm going to head to Cleveland, Ohio, which will probably be about 4 hours away from where I'm at right now, and then I'll be headed back with that, and that would be the end of the day. Okay, update. There has been a huge change of plans. What you just saw me in was a tractor, and I was getting fueled and all of those things, and I was awaiting my route to go to Cleveland, Ohio, but last minute I was told that that route was canceled, and so what they're gonna have me do instead is do a couple local runs. And so I'm actually not, I'm actually not in a tractor situation. Yeah.
I forgot a ticket. Did I give you the rest of them?
Yeah. Thank you. I'm not actually doing a tractor trailer anymore. I'm actually in a box truck. And I've never done a box truck before, ever. I'm not concerned at all because, I mean, it's like a large car. So
I don't know how you doing the trailers. I stay away from that. I've been driving for years, but I don't think I trust myself like that to be driving a trailer. But as short as this girl is, more power to her. A whole G.
I know how to check my mirrors to make sure that I'm clearing a turn and all of that. But even when it comes down to like backing up, you're backing up like how you would a car, because there's no swivel like how when you're attached to a trailer, how that is. So that's cool. And I'm realizing that there is no, hold on. Oh, I was about to say, it looked like there was no carport for me to plug in my GPS. Okay, issue is, he was telling me that where I'm going has a lot of low bridges, so to be careful. He told me to take one street down and then another street, but I'm gonna fact check. I'm gonna just put in the address first, and then I'm going to map check it, just look on the satellite and all of that, make sure that I'm able to go to these locations with no issues. Now, I'm just going to one location real fast. It's about 20 minutes away, getting unloaded, and then I'm coming back empty, and then he's gonna give me another load. the Mack trucks when it comes to turn radius. I can't turn much of anywhere. And so I found myself struggling a tiny bit to get out of this one way. It wasn't a one way, but it was just a really short, a really skinny, I guess, driveway. I found it difficult to get out of that because I came in one way and I needed to find a way to sort of teeter-tot my way back the other way, nose facing. But I ended up doing it. It wasn't actually that bad. I feel like, again, if the turn radius was better, it wouldn't have been as difficult. But if I was in like a car or in a truck that I'm used to driving in, then I'll be able to gauge where in the yard or where in the driveway would be the best bet for me to be able to get a clean U-turn. So does that make sense?
I was driving for a company and they had one of those trailers, and they broke it down into 3 box trucks. So the guy who drove the trailer loved it so much he could move from a trailer to a box truck and still was making the same pay. And he was making the most out of all of us there. It was box trucks and trailers. And he was driving the trailer, so he was making more than everybody who wasn't driving the trailer. And when they broke his load down into three delivery routes, he loved it. You know what I mean? He said it was so much easier for him. And I know, because I'm not driving no trailer. I'm good.
Only because I'm not familiar with this truck that I couldn't necessarily gauge which part is wide enough for me to make a smooth U-turn. Anyways, so yeah, I'm parked here for now. I didn't notice that I would have to be waiting to get unloaded, but that's fine with me because, like I told you guys earlier, I'm getting paid by the hour, and it is, what time is it? I think it's like 10 something at this point. Just got unloaded, just giving you the update. Now we're about to go back to where we started, and we'll see what route they'll give us after this. It's currently 10:52 in the morning, so not much time has passed. We'll get there around 11:15 or so. So yeah. Okay, real quick. So I made it to my second stop. It was a little more, not tricky, but just like a little less expected of what took place. So I pulled into this area. It seemed to be a little tight, but being that this is a box truck, it's like, okay, well, I mean, it should be just enough space for me. So I pull in, and I pulled in until I couldn't anymore. And the problem was, obviously, like I told you guys, the turn radius isn't all that well. So I've noticed that even though I pulled in all the way, it would be difficult for me to back into this dock right here, this one. So, because I don't know if you can tell, but there's not much space behind me. You can't tell, but there isn't. So when I pulled in, I noticed there was one guy working on some stuff over to the side, but I didn't know if he was the one I was supposed to speak to or not. But with my company, they give me the number to the person that I'm supposed to be speaking to at the shipper or whomever I'm pulling up to. So I called, but they weren't answering, and as I was calling, I noticed he started doing hand signals. I didn't know officially what he was asking me to do though, but it looked like he was telling me to make a U-turn, and clearly in this parking spot I'm not able to do a U-turn. So I rolled down my window and I'm like, what is it? And he's telling me that I have to back up all the way back onto the street so that I can turn around and have my butt of the truck back into this area. So what I did wrong was I pulled in frontwards, and it's not enough space for me to make any maneuvers in order for me to get unloaded. So I had to back into the entrance of this place, which is off of a main road. So
that turn radius on that on that vehicle sucks. If you couldn't back in right there, that turn radius stinks.
I've had to do that before with a 53-foot truck, so it wasn't like something spectacular. I think my brain, when I know I'm backing up, it's still a little off because I'm backing up like a car would. So every time I turn right, my tail is supposed to be going right and vice versa. But because I'm high like a truck, my mind is telling me turn like a truck. So
that's funny. I looked up, like, she was like, because I'm high. I was like, what?
I'm not doing 100% perfect. I am noticing and catching myself turn the wrong way as I'm backing up, but for the most part, it's easy peasy. There was no issues. I was able to turn back onto the main road, turn my nose towards the opposite street, and then back in all the way where I was able to back. And also, weird part, I thought I was supposed to be backing into this dock, but he was guiding me, and he guided me past the dock. And so I just got out and was like, you don't need me to back into this dock? And he's like, no, I just need you to back into this space that, ironically, he was working in. I keep saying ironically, but I feel like that's the incorrect word. I just keep using it because it's a common word. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. With that, I don't know if this is my last stop or not. I can squeeze, obviously, another stop in. It's almost 1 o'clock right now. The in-between time for me finishing with the first stop and then me getting loaded again was like an hour and a half, possibly because they were trying to see what I was supposed to be doing next. Today's a slow day, so he didn't tell me if I had something else to do once I got back, but as of right now, this place, also the direction to get to this place was almost the exact same as the first place. It's literally like a 2 to 5 minute difference. So I took the same route and got here. And there was absolutely no issue, just like last time.
It sounds like how they broke down that route I was talking about, where everything would have been taken on the trailer, but they broke it down.
So yeah, so far, box trucks, I don't know what I prefer more. I like 53-foot trailers because I'm used to them. I was trained to do them. I was never trained to drive a box truck, but I feel like it's self-explanatory. I am not against box trucks at all. They get the job done. I'm not necessarily needing to clear a turn like I would a truck, but I'm used to a truck. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if I started off with a box truck and I got used to driving a box truck and then I turned around and got in a truck, like a 53-foot truck, I would probably be very, very off mentally. Like, even if I got trained for a Class A vehicle to drive a Class B vehicle for so long and then decide, okay, now I'm gonna drive a Class A, that would have, like, been very topsy-turvy for me. But going backwards, it's obviously not that hard of a difference. It's just, I don't know, I miss my 53-foot truck, because when I am making turns, I'm like overturning because I'm trying to make sure that I'm clearing it. Even though I'm clearing it, it's not that hard to clear a turn. So yeah, but so far, if I were to rank all the vehicles I've ever driven, from really just car, box truck, and the regular dry van, I would go car first, then tractor trailer, and then box truck. Only because I haven't driven a box truck before. Okay, quick thing. I don't even know if I'm gonna keep this in a vlog, but so last night I had a dream that I don't know why I had this dream. It was a random dream. Last night I had a dream that I was being taught how to drive a high-low. I don't know why. I woke up, didn't think anything of it. I come to work, and now I'm driving a box truck for the first time. Never, ever, ever drove one. Never even was, like, in a position to drive one. last minute they chose to have me drive a box truck. Now I go to the back and the guy asks me, do I know how to drive a high-low? And I'm looking at him and I'm like, no. And he's like, you don't know how to drive that thing right there? And I'm like, no. And he's like, okay. So nothing happened.
That's
right?
funny.
But it's just odd that I had a dream that I was being taught something new, and now here we are.
The exact
I'm
same
in a box truck
thing.
And I'm being asked if I know how to drive a high-low, and I think he was asking because he wanted to know if I would be able to move it, because there's a high-low already positioned in the back of my tractor, or in the back of my trailer, box truck trailer, or whatever. I don't know why they left it there. I guess that's normal. I don't know, because this is my first time ever doing a type of run like this. But there's literally a high-low or whatever machine that's already underneath the stuff that I brought. So I guess they were saying, just in case you guys don't have this type of machinery, we are pre-packaging and sending it off to you for you to use. I don't know anything about this. So it was just funny he asked. So that's all. I don't know. I don't even know why I told you guys. It just is. I guess I'm just being.
That's what's up, man.
Open.
We here for you. Talk to us. Talk to us.
Just got the paper. We're all set and we're about to go ahead and go. Okay, I'm gonna try to not make this update so long-winded, but I just made it back to the origin spot, let's just call it that. And this time around it was a little bit tighter to get in, but I mean, it's like backing up a car, so it wasn't difficult. The only thing is that to back into docks over here, I'm on a main road, so the road has cars going back and forth. But it was easy, like I said. Side note, funny thing about my hair, because my hair is in this weird hairstyle right now. I'm not totally mad at it, but the issue is the last time I did something similar to this updo, my hair was like 1.5 inches shorter, so it made sense.
Right, it's stretching nowadays too.
Because the goal is to keep it out of my eyes, so that's why I put it up like this. But my hair is longer, so if you can't tell, it's pretty much in my face, and so I push it off to the side. But when I push it off to the side, it goes all the way around to the other side, and it ends up just looking like a chili bowl mop effect. And I love locks. I would normally feel like the word mop would be very rude, so I am sort of I'm very split in half about describing my hair looking like a mop. I would much rather use another term, but if I'm honest, that's sort of what it's giving right now. That's okay. We're fine. I'm at work. At the end of the day, I'm just happy that it grew out. I'm so happy that it's finally a little bit past my shoulders, and I have to find another way to do an updo. I don't think I'm gonna do the tight ponytail thing quite yet, because it's just gonna be spidery at the top, but I'll figure it out. In the meantime, I'm probably not gonna do this again because it just looks really thick. That's another thing. If my hair wasn't so dense, it probably would still be able to, be pulled off, but because my hair is so thick, like, you see how it just wraps around like that? It's a lot. It's a lot.
I just did on islands. So he'd gone and planted to all these churches. He'd gone on these missionary journeys, and his job, his role, was to preach the gospel. Yet in doing that, because he did that, he was in prison. This could have, in a fleshly way, felt like sort of an interaction to his plan, right? Like his job was to preach the gospel, but now he's being imprisoned, and so he's not able to be out there planting churches or preaching to people. Yet in being in prison, that happening for what I feel like I should be doing, or what I'm supposed to be doing, or even what God has called me to be doing, and it
The young pepper.
or this setback. But even if something to me might seem like a setback from my plan, ultimately it doesn't alter from God's purpose, because he knows what is going to happen and he knows how he's going to use it. And in this case, in Paul's case, he used the imprisonment to further the purpose he had already given to Paul, which was to make Jesus known. Wow, there is a lot in this chapter, and honestly, one of the reasons I felt like my heart was sort of being pulled to Philippians is that I know that it is a lot about servanthood.
Okay, so it is much later, and before I go to bed, I wanted to show you guys something. Earlier, once I got home, I started a little bit of a Jeez, I can't speak. Last night I was studying Philippians in my book, and I noticed some of you guys were interested a little bit about my Bible scrapbooking. So I figured I would show you guys a little bit of what I was studying just before I go to bed. I did study a little bit more today, but I wanted to go ahead and show you. So before I get started, I just want to let you guys know that you're gonna hear my smoke alarm in the background because I do have the batteries to my smoke detector, but I'm too short, so I can't I can't reach it, and I don't have a step ladder, so I'm either going to buy a step ladder or have my brother come and change it for me. But either way, I wanted to just show you guys a little bit of what I studied. This is what I studied today, but what I really wanted to show you guys was what I studied last night. And so, like I said, this is the book of Philippians, and last night I glued this page in, which tells pretty much about the history and the background of Philippi. Now, one thing I will acknowledge is that I did not learn every single thing about the background of Philippi, but I did learn a nice chunk about it, and it was something that I was thoroughly interested in, clearly. So just to give you guys a little context, I'll just give you guys a brief run through. What I did was I separated what I learned, one part being land, so pretty much about the land, and then the other part being about the people of Philippi, and then I also have the facts column over here. But what I learned was that Philippi is a Greek city. Around like 42 BC, they pretty much just made it into a Roman colony. So it was supposed to be like a miniature version of the city of Rome. And so it ended up receiving the status of Jus Italicum. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but that really just means just as Italy. And what that means is that they had the political advantages that cities in other countries did not. They were protected under the Roman law. They were exempt from taxes. So like property tax and the poll tax, which I learned poll tax is pretty much just being alive tax. So you were taxed for simply being alive as a person. But they were fortunately exempt from these because they were treated as a Roman city. So that was pretty interesting. They didn't speak Greek, even though they were surrounded by Greek territory. So every city around them was Greek, but they were considered a Roman city because they were literally taken over and essentially made into a Roman city. And so they spoke Latin. And what's funny to me was that only 40% of the citizens were Roman and 60% were Greeks, but they were mostly peasants, farmers, service providers, and slaves. And the religion was primarily pagan, and they had various gods, but that was up until around 49 to 50 AD when Paul, Silas, Timothy, and Luke journeyed there and ultimately established the Church of Philippi, which is where this letter was sent to in about a decade after that establishment. And so that's where Philippians takes place. It is a letter from Paul to the Church of Philippi. And what I learned today was that Epaphroditus delivered a gift to Paul, who was imprisoned, I believe, for 2 years. He was technically, I've heard different things, but from what I can gather, he was awaiting a trial, and he was technically in house arrest. But don't quote me because I'm still trying to do some research on that. But he was officially imprisoned. I'll just say that he was in jail, essentially. And Epaphroditus came and delivered a gift from the Church of Philippi to him. And what was beautiful was that he had been for this while supported by the Church of Philippi. And they really had reverence for him and continued to give him money. And so this letter was actually a response to the gift that he received from Epaphroditus. So what I also found pretty interesting from this evening's study is that the letter to the Philippians happened to be a letter where Paul didn't really rebuke or condemn any of them. He didn't have any negative things to say to the Church of Philippi. In fact, he was really proud and he was joyous and wanted to encourage them pretty much throughout this entire book. So when you compare that to the book of Corinthians or the book of Galatians, where he's telling them, like, you are some stiff-necked people, y'all out here going crazy, I can't believe y'all out here with this sexual immorality and all that, like, y'all worse than the Gentiles out here. Like, he was going in on these people. So we know obviously that he has no problem calling people out. So it was beautiful to see that in this book he was really he really expressed his love and joy for the Church of Philippi and his overall thankfulness that they were so supportive, even though he was in the moment in prison, which back in this time was something that was easily shamed. But they supported him no matter what. So that's all. I won't go too far into it. I just wanted to end the night off with my Bible study, what I learned in the past 24 hours or so. And if you were encouraged by it, let me know in the comments below. But I'm really enjoying Bible scrapbooking. I cannot lie. I find that it has changed my daily schedule a lot. I ended up doing this for hours, like 2 hours. And so I don't know what that means. I know that God is working, because for me to just be super enthralled in this, it's not even the scrapbooking part anymore. It's just the knowledge part. So I say that to say that sometimes, like I've said in the past, God works through your desires. And sometimes he will plant that desire in you. And so maybe question what you've been desiring lately and bring it to his attention and see what he does with it. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you all so much. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the last portion. And I hope you guys are having a beautiful new year so far. I will see you in the next video. Bye.
All right, man. That was Niesha, and we're gonna be doing that every week. You feel me? Just keep up with the young local truck driver. She was doing the over the road, but she's doing it local now, and now into the box truck moves. That's what's up. That's tight. I like that. But we'll catch back up on the next video. Later.
Feel